You know, in the 1990s, it was perfectly socially acceptable to drive to a pub, pull up into the car park, and just leave your kids in the car. Like, admittedly, you have to roll the window down a bit, you know. Enough for oxygen to get in, but not enough for a priest to get in. The only natural predator of the 90s child.
Cavan, McGahern!
All right, give it up for Damo Clark, everybody! Thank you so much. It's beautiful to be here. I am not drinking tonight. Yeah, I'm trying to cut down on the old drinking. This is a hard country to not drink in. I was in the Midlands recently. I went into a pub. I ordered a Heineken Zero. I would have had a warmer reception ordering bacon fries in a mosque. It's like I committed a war crime. I'm trying to curtail my drinking. Instead of having a pint of Guinness in the evening, I'll have, a pint of wine. Your body is a temple, folks. Unfortunately, my body is Temple Bar. I'm on a health buzz. I got a health buzz. I did Dancing with the Stars last year. Thank you. We'll add applause later. Don't worry. Weird thing about doing Dancing with the Stars is you do a lot of interviews with journalists, and every single journalist asked me the same question at the end of every interview. They were like, Cavan, you're a married man. And this is just a little bit of a fun, good crack question really for the end of the interview. Are you worried at all, huh? Are you worried about the old Strictly curse? Are you worried that you're going to cheat on your wife, ruin your relationship of 16 years, and only see your children for a half an hour every Christmas? Are you, huh? Are you worried about that? Are you? Like, what the fuck do you expect me to say? My wife is literate. She will read this interview you're conducting right now. She is literate. It's one of the first things that attracted me to her. I wanted a woman who could read. That was the thing. But like, what do you expect me to say? I'm shitting myself. I'm absolutely. Have you seen your one? Jesus Christ. I don't know how I'll manage now. But if we're honest with each other, like this Strictly curse, come on. It's not the worst curse in the world. It's certainly not like a biblical curse, like the death of the firstborn, or boils on your skin, or frogs dropping from the sky. Like, if you pissed off a gypsy, and I don't mean a member of the travelling community or a Roma, I mean like the kind of a fictional gypsy you'd see in a werewolf film. Like, if you pissed off a gypsy and she went to you, I curse you. You will have sex with a very beautiful woman who's not your wife. You'd be like, you fucking gypsy. I'm raging now with that development. That's the last thing I need. That's the worst type of curse, really, isn't it? Tell me this, gypsy. Is this a once-off curse, or is it a kind of a recurring thing? It's once off. Oh, that's not too bad, but I tell you something, gypsy. I'm not happy. I'll track you down. You haven't seen the last of me. I'll track you down and piss you off again in a couple of months' time. I want to get in shape. Like, during lockdown, I had big plans to get in shape, and I did, the shape of a fat bollocks. Sort of a roundy pear shape. But I had a workout regime during lockdown. So during lockdown, I would head to the park at night. I'd wait till the kids are gone to bed. I'm not a creep. It's important to say these things. So I'd hide in the bushes and I'd watch the last child leave. Because I'm not a creep. So I would, my workout regime, I'd hang my legs on the monkey bars and I'd do like a chin up, and then I'd smoke a fag, and then I'd repeat that like the next month. And after 12 months of lockdown, I lost about 12 lighters. Couldn't seem to hang on to them at all. But a lot more flexible now, now, look at that. Like, before this, I used to injure myself if I tried taking off my jacket in a car, and Gentlemen, by the way, any man over 30, never, ever attempt to take off your jacket while you are sitting in a car. You will dislocate both of your shoulders and drive into a ditch. Whereas now, you know, I can touch my toes if I'm holding a pencil. But I had a couple of kids during lockdown as well. They're mine. I have them legally. My first child was a female girl child, and I was like, only parents will know this, but I was just blown away by the capacity for love that I could feel for another human being. Like, I love my daughter like a Chinese dad loves his son, I suppose. And if you're wondering whether that's a racist joke, I did actually ask a Chinese man, and he said, well, actually, I'm Japanese. So 2-0 to China there. Your sex life changes once you have kids. You know, you have to work at it a lot harder. It doesn't come as easily. Like, you have to plan it. Like, me and my wife, we have sex weekly. And by that I mean with little strength or effort. I don't mean we have sex every week. I'm not Leonardo DiCaprio or one of them lads. But we used to play a little game, actually. My wife would say, like, let's play the hall pass game. Anyone know what the hall pass game is? It's where you pick a couple of celebrities that you'd like to sleep with, and your spouse gives you full permission to do so if the opportunity ever arises. And she said, I'll make it easy. You pick 3. And I was like, okay, this is a fucking dangerous enough game. Okay, I pick Salma Hayek. I always like Salma Hayek, a good healthy looking woman. Margot Robbie. And what's the one from Avengers? The Hulk, thank you, yeah. Got a thing for massive green men. But yeah, they were my 3 anyway. And look, I'm never going to meet these people. But I asked my wife who she'd pick as her hall pass, and she picked, listen to this, the 3 young lads who live next door to us. And they're not even famous. That's what's funny about that. And I said, when do you want to start this? She said, do you mind if we backdate it 2 months before the wedding? But I'm jealous of my parents. My parents brought me up in the 90s, a very relaxed time to have kids, you know. There's no helicopter parenting in the 90s. You know, in the 1990s, it was perfectly socially acceptable to drive to a pub, pull up into the car park, and just leave your kids in the car. Doesn't that sound amazing? To drive to a pub and just leave them in the car. Like, admittedly, you have to roll the window down a bit, you know. Enough for oxygen to get in, but not enough for a priest to get in. The only natural predator of the 90s child. Just that sweet spot between oxygen and priest. Yeah, you head into the pub, you drink 6 pints, you get back in the car, you drive home. Nobody wearing a seatbelt for some reason. 1 airbag. There was 1 airbag in a 90s car, just for the driver, just for the man who was drinking the most in the car. So he's a nice little pillow to rest his head as he waits for the ambulance to arrive, you know. But you do change, you know. You find out who you are, where your morals lie when you have kids. Like I mean, I remember, like, before, when me and my wife would be in a restaurant, you know, before we had kids, you know, when we were happy. And we'd be in a restaurant or our heads full of rest, and we'd see a young couple come in with a little child, a 3-year-old or 4-year-old, and the child would be bouncing all around the place and knocking stuff over and shouting too loud and clinking glasses and ordering off the menu. And the wife would do this amazing thing. She would take out her phone, she'd put it against the glass, and she'd put on Peppa Pig. And I used to look at this, and I'd turn to my wife and I'd say, do you fucking see that over there? I'm sorry, but that is a disgrace. Sure, the child's been a bit noisy, but instead of just explaining to the child, sorry, Finton, you're in a restaurant, mate. These people have paid good money for a nice, relaxing night out, and your behaviour is frankly abhorrent. So why don't you exercise a little bit of empathy, a little bit of sympathy for your fellow man, and just tone it right down? No, she doesn't do that. Instead, she fobs off her parenting duties to a cartoon pig. I'm sorry, but that's a disgrace. Now, if I saw a mother hit her child in a restaurant, I would just go, wow, that must be some cunt of a child over there. You see that? That must be a real little bastard altogether to warrant that response from that poor woman. That didn't come from nowhere. That had been building up for the week, clearly. How you love? No, I saw it. No, you're dead right. You're dead right. Yeah, no, fair play. Not enough people. I'll not say a thing. Don't worry, you're dead right. Can we send a bottle of wine over to that table there, please? Brought my kids to the swimming pool there recently. And in our swimming pool, the cubicles, the changing cubicles are very small, like, you know, really small. Like you couldn't swing a cat in them. And nor should you. Like, you shouldn't really swing a cat anywhere, if I'm honest. And if it comes to your decision as to whether to swing a cat, it shouldn't be dependent on the size of the room you're in, you know? It's just a helpful note. It's not like you walk into, like, the 3 Arena and you're like, fuck me, I wish I had a big cat to swing around this place. You could really let one rip in here, couldn't you, boys? Just don't swing a cat anywhere. So we're in this cubicle, and the cubicle is so small you can really only manage one child per cubicle. So I'm changing my son, and my wife is changing my daughter, and my daughter just hates like the water from the showers. She just goes nuts whenever you put her into a shower. It's a real big thing. She's bawling her eyes out. She's hysterical, and I can hear this going on next door. And I really want to like alleviate my child's pain. I want to alleviate my wife's stress. And the only thing I can think of doing is occasionally, to get a laugh out of my daughter, I will do like a little funny voice using my hand like this, you know, and like, hello, you know. So I reach over the cubicle and I say, it's okay, baby, daddy's here. And my child does not stop crying. But another child starts crying. I had inadvertently miscalculated just which cubicle they were in. So you know, I was up in court then. It's embarrassing up there on the docks, like with the hand. You know, well, that lady's description of the events is very different to mine. So yeah, no, I had to looking for a new swimming pool now. But I was in the States there last year. I was actually in the States when Trump had the assassination attempt on him. We got shot in the ear, which, you know, if you're going to get shot in the head, the ear is probably the best place to get shot. It's where I would pick anyway. Out of the whole head, I would definitely go for the ear. How did they miss the big fucker? Like, he's 6'4" and he's a head that you could only describe as a sniper's wet dream. And they somehow missed him. But as we do seem to be picking mad leaders at the moment, like Britain especially. Britain is some of the most intelligent people on the planet, and look at the last few people they've elected. Like Rishi Sunak looks like one of the in-betweeners, if we're honest. You know, Liz Truss looks like a school teacher who came back from a school tour after forgetting every single child. Just every child is missing. She has that look on her face like, oh yeah, it was quiet on the drive home. All right, yeah. Boris Johnson looks like a man who'd drink water out of a packet of sliced ham. But I mean, like, Ireland's relationship with England has improved, but there is still a little bit of distrust. I mean, how can you trust a country that invades half the planet, steals all of their spices, and then refuses to use them in cooking? It's maddening. But when I was in the States, there was a lot of right-wing media in the States, and you know, some people think that's a bad thing. I think it can be kind of a good thing, you know. Like, I mean, I think right-wing media provides a safe play area for people with mad ideas. Like, if you look at a lot of right-wing pundits, a lot of them are actually failed creatives. You know, Steve Bannon, failed screenwriter. Ben Shapiro, failed screenwriter. Kellyanne Conway, failed comedian. Sorry, I don't know why I motioned myself for that one. Regret that. But my point is, you know, they wanted to be creative. They were shit at it. And then they went into right-wing media punditry. Can anyone tell me what Adolf Hitler wanted to be? An artist. Said by the quietest woman in the world. It was like she was afraid to criticize Hitler. An artist? Yes, you're totally right. Adolf Hitler, one of the most megalomaniacal, genocidal bastards, a mass murderer that we've never seen the likes of before. His dream was to paint beautiful pictures. Can you imagine the embarrassment of his secondary school art teacher? Just some lad in 1938 reading a newspaper going like, Hilda, come in here. You'll never guess who's in the newspaper. Young Hitler. Remember, I taught him art in school. Yeah, no, he was shite. He was shite. He was shite. And I told him several times. Yeah, no, he hated mixing colours, I remember. And I said to him, Adolf, you are not good at art. You may give up this dream and find something else to do for yourself because it's not art. Whatever it is, you might find a different dream. What's he up to these days? Oh, holy fuck. Let's never speak of his name again. If Adolf Hitler was around today, he'd have a podcast that nobody listens to. He'd be coming on once a week going, hey, welcome back to the bunker. It's your old pal Adolf. We're going to be getting into some big issues this week. We're going to be talking about gingerbread men. You're not allowed to say gingerbread men anymore. What the fuck is up with that? Anyway, this episode's sponsored by manscaped.com. If you want a perfectly square mustache like me, go to manscaped.com. We're also sponsored by Tropicana Juice, the only juice that I allow into my kitchen. I'll tell you that much. Hey, we're having fun. That one is just for me. I went to a nightclub in the States. I was in New York, went to a nightclub. And I have to say, ladies, I am jealous of your songs. I think women have amazing songs about being women. Proud to be women. You've like, girls just want to have fun. Man, I feel like a woman. Who runs the world? Thank God nobody said anything anti-Semitic straight after that last joke. But yes, as factually inaccurate as that song is, it's a great banger. But the song, like when is the last song we had a song that made us proud to be a man? Maybe Bob the Builder, Can We Fix It? It was the only song we were like, yeah, fucking, yeah, I got a hammer at home. There was a song played at the night. It was Miley Cyrus's Flowers. It's a great song. It's a song that makes women proud. You do not need a man to self-actualize. You are strong all by yourself. Great feminist message. But if you took the lyrics of that song and put it into the mouth of a 38-year-old man from Galway, it's a very, very different vibe. If you met a lad from Galway called, we call him Miley, actually. It's a good Galway name. Miley, how are you getting on? Heard you broke up with the woman there. Yeah. That's right, yeah, I did, yeah. What did you do today with yourself? Well, I bought myself flowers. You bought yourself flowers? What did you do then? I went down to the strand there. I picked up an old stick and I wrote my own name in the sand. You wrote your own name in the sand. What did you do then? Oh, I just talked to myself for hours. Do you mind me asking, during these spells, what would you be saying to yourself? Cavan, I'd be saying things that you wouldn't understand. Like when Miley sings that she gets a Grammy, if an Irish lad sang that, you'd be running in the guards, But I'm trying to be more controversial, actually. I want to be like an edgy comedian, like Kill Tony or one of them boys. And actually, I got Damo, your MC, to write this next joke. So, as I said, it's quite controversial. Might upset a few people, might ruffle a few feathers. But but it's not, as I said, it's Damo Clark's is his full name. Damo's joke. So I'm really a wrestle for his thoughts. So if you have an issue, just contact Damo after the show. I'm sure he'd be happy to hear your concerns. So the name of the joke is My Big Beef with the Whole Trans Situation. By Damien. Damien is his full name. Damo's more of a stage name, but if you want to find him legally, his legal name is Damien Clark. My big beef with the whole trans situation. It's more of a list of grievances than a joke. Number one, they're unreliable. Okay. Number two, they are too expensive. Don't know what that means. Number three, they don't go to Donegal. Sorry, I just realised it says trains. Trains, yeah. I know. Yeah, this woman got the joke. I was wondering because number four is I'm afraid of them. I need 4 pints to get up in one. Don't know why that would be considered a controversial joke, Damo. But there you have it. But I can be confrontational in my personal life. Like I was at a dinner party there recently, and there was a lad there that I didn't know. You know, my friends invited one of their friends, and that's always awful. And I could tell straight away I don't like this man. He had tiny little circular James Joyce glasses, and he had little fingers, and I could just tell he was a very intelligent, well-read sort of chap, and I'm not a smart man by any means. And at the end of the dinner, we had, playing games and stuff, and one of the girls said, if you had like €1 million, what would you do with it? And I was trying to think, like, what would a smart lad say? And I said, I'd probably buy a sailboat and I'd sail all around the world just exploring different cultures and things like that. I'd fucking hate that. Nothing would annoy me more than to be damp for a year, like living like this, having to learn the word ham in every language. I know jamon is one, but but I thought that's what a smart lad would say, and it came to Jeremy, we'll call him, and Jeremy is like, I'd obviously donate it to Ukraine, of course. And I was like, of course, yeah. That's still going on, is it? Yeah. No, that's a much better use of €1 million. And then somebody said, if you go back in time for one day, like, what would you do? And I was trying to think, like, what would be an altruistic answer? And I said, I'd go back in time and I'd kill Hitler as a baby, and just get to him before he went on to any of that mess and he got involved with. And, in one selfless act, I would save 6 million lives, And I thought that was a good answer. Came to Jeremy. Jeremy said, I'd go back in time and I'd raise Hitler right. Yeah, try and be a good dad to little Hitler. Probably try and encourage his art. That's beautiful. Really great use of just the colour white, Adolf. And in one selfless act, I would save 6,000,001 lives. Yeah, I know, I felt the same. I was raging. Finally, somebody said, if you go back in time and spend one night with one person romantically, who would it be? Somebody was saying, like, Sophia Loren. Somebody else said James Dean. Came to me and I said, I'm going to let Jeremy go first, actually, for this one. It's getting cute. And Jeremy said, wow, big question, one night, one person. I'm afraid I'd have to say my dear departed wife, Nora, that I unfortunately lost 10 years ago. And I know we're all having the crack. Lads are saying funny answers there, but if I'm honest, that's the answer I would give my dear departed wife, Nora. There was a church-like silence in the room. The women were in tears, just overcome with the emotion of this beautiful man. The men were embarrassed, just playing with their peas on their plates. Came to me and I said, Yeah, me too. I go back and have sex with his dead wife as well. And the reaction was just the polar opposite. I think it was just because I'm a culchie. More culchie racism. We do suffer a lot of racism where I'm from. I'm from Cavan. We get called, tight a lot, which is not fair. It's a nice county, there's not a lot of crime. One time a lad pulled a knife at me and there was brown sauce on it, that's not threatening. Just made me hungry, went off and got a bag of chips and the pair of us. But we're quite sexually repressed, admittedly, yeah. We only recently got sexting in Cavan. Some of you might remember that from 25 years ago. Where you send a sexy text message to your loved one and get them all juiced up at work, and then they're raring to go when you come home. We only recently just started doing that. Before that, we had sex telegrams, which is not sexy at all. You have to hire a man on a horse, first of all. And you have to compose it as he's, reading it over your shoulder, and you're writing stuff like, "Dear Mairead, stop. Oh, your body drives me crazy, so it does. Stop. I fantasize about shrinking myself down into a tiny car and driving all over your body, pulling handbrakes into your arse. Stop. Yours lustingly, stop. Cavan, stop." And you hand it to the man on the horse, and he rides away, and he comes back 2 weeks later, and it's hard to maintain an erection for that length of time. You get the telegram, you rip it open, and it just says, "Dear Cavan, stop." But as I said, we do suffer a lot of racism in Cavan. I was in the Aran Islands there a couple of years ago. I was there with my wife, and we had a great time. And we went up to the pub. This lad, I ordered a taxi. The taxi pulls up, and there was already a couple in the car, which I definitely didn't order. It wasn't that kind of night. And as soon as the guy starts making fun of me straight away, and he goes, "Where are you from, man? Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from Cavan." And he goes, "Oh, they're so tight in Cavan, aren't they? Oh, they're so stingy in Cavan. I bet you know how to peel an orange in your pocket, do you? Huh? I bet you eat your dinner out of a drawer, do you? Yeah. So if anyone comes in, you just close the drawer. You don't have to give them any of your dinner." I was like, what fucking scenario have you ever been in where you're eating your dinner, a friend arrives, and you're like, "Oh, now I have to give him half of my dinner"? It's the logic of a dog, you bollocks. I was like, "Where the fuck are you from that you're so different to me?" And he goes, "I'm from Limerick, and I know what you're going to say. You're going to make all the Limerick jokes." I said, "I'm actually not, because I'm not so dense. I need to rely on tired old stereotypes just to insult you. Plus, I'd be afraid you'd fucking stab me, It's the fucking last thing I need." But guys, I was so raging. But we had such a great day, and by bringing up this whole thing of us being tight, it opened a wound. And we had such a great day, me and my wife. We were down by the beach, I had some sandwiches wrapped up in tinfoil there, and some goujons I got at a removal the night before, and went up to the pub. I was like, "1 packet of crisps, please," and we opened them out flat. I let her eat as many of them as she wanted, lads, and he had the audacity to call me tight, on our honeymoon of all days. I went back to the hostel. I told the rest of the lads they couldn't believe it. But look, I'm gonna finish on a song. I'm gonna finish on a song here because you're such a lovely crowd. This is a Christmas song just for the season that's in it. And I notice with a lot of Christmas songs, a lot of them are about Jesus or Mary. There's very few about the owl lad, Joseph. So this is a song from the perspective of Joseph. I hope you all enjoy it. Hit it there. Oh Mary, you are my beautiful wife, the mother to all the world. You've just given birth to our Saviour, but you'll still always be my girl. You've kept yourself so pure and true. You've never known the touch of a man. Even though I'm pretty sure we're not breaking any rules if we just did stuff with our hands. But I didn't mind to wait so long when my advances all fell flat. But now that you've given birth to our Lord, when am I gonna get up in that Mary, you don't have to be a virgin no more. When am I gonna get up and that? Let's pull the curtains, let's lock that door. When am I gonna get up and that? Hey, the job is done, so let's have some fun. When am I gonna get up and that? This last year's been pretty tough. When you told me God got you up the duff. You've always been tight, had no affairs. Now you're saying you're getting down with the man upstairs. I didn't mind that he got there first. I've been counting the days till that virgin birth. Now your duty's done, my lady blue. And there's only one thing I wanna say to you. When am I gonna get up and that? It's been so long since I've been with you, honey. When am I gonna get up and that? I've been beating my dick like it owes me money. When am I gonna get up and that? Joe's gonna explode if he don't blow this load. When am I gonna get up and die? There's so many things that I've been wanting to do. I'm not just talking about a straight up screw. Let's do a Dirty Sanchez and a Cleveland steamer and some teabagging followed by a Bewley's creamer. Let's do a pterodactyl on a sex swing with a rusty trombone and a vibrating cock ring, a frothy walrus and a golden shower. Then I'll take about an hour on your tower of power. I've been wishing to get your permission, Mary, to get you in the position of missionary. Been reminiscing of my kissing, which I know you've been missing. So admission, my emission, you could do with the nutrition like a nuclear fission. I'm about to explode. I'm backed up like a Friday on the Long Mile Road. I'm starting to stumble. My vision's gone wonky. If we don't get it on, I'm gonna fuck that donkey. I hope you don't mind my forward approach. When am I gonna get up and that? I've been standing on the sidelines, put me in coach. When am I gonna get up and that? You've had immaculate conceptions, have ejaculate conception. When am I gonna get up and that? Oh, baby! Why don't you break little Joe of a piece, baby? Oh, folks, you have been amazing. Thank you so much. My name is Cavan McGahern. Good luck. Enjoy the rest of the show.